Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of our weekly MMA talk show called Chokes and Eye Pokes. We've been gone for a while. Jack and I have both been busy the last little while, but we are back. We're going to hopefully have regular episodes again. Of course, we couldn't miss UFC 300. We had to bring you guys our analysis and our picks. So we're back again. Jack, it feels good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks now that I think we missed. Did we do 299? I don't think we did 299.
I don't think we did. It was before the Cameron Simon Talbot fight. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, man. No, even before that, I think. Yeah, we missed it. I don't think we got a chance to predict that. But that being said, we're back. We're both not in South Africa right now as well. Yes, we're both out the country. So we're going to give you guys... We've got makeshift sets in the back and whatever. I'm in my hotel room. Jack is at his house where he's staying at. So we hope the backdrop is good. I think we should just get straight into it. Get straight into predictions. We've got UFC 300 happening this weekend. Billed as probably the most important card in UFC history. I wasn't too keen on it when the announcement was made. I was more keen on watching UFC 299. I will say this card has grown on me. There's still one or two fights that I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not interested in, but I mean, for example, Bareknuckle being on the main card is just odd to me. So still is, and there will always be.
Yeah, especially looking at like poor Davis and Figueiredo. I mean, just looking at the undercard, there's just like so many more people that I don't want to say disrespected. Yeah, like shame. Aljamain Sterling. Yeah,
Aljamain. Mind you, it is his featherweight debut. So
yeah.
And I saw a thing the other day about Aljo having to still work a couple more jobs and stuff. So I don't know if he's the draw he thinks he was, but definitely Yuri Prochazka. I think Figueiredo as well. I mean, even Holly Holm.
Yeah,
it's like she's in the undercard. You know. Top to bottom, stacked 12 former current champions. But as always, we're only going to review the main card. The main card does start with that man, Bareknuckle. So have you got the odds there of the...
I do. And they're quite insane for this one. I don't think they beat his last fight, but... So Bareknuckle is the favorite, minus 2,100 to Cody Brundage's plus 1,100.
Yeah, okay. I'm not much into the betting, so I don't know why there's an extra zero there. But quite a favorite once again. This fight, I think, like all of Bareknuckle's fights so far, I think this is just another sort of filler fight for him. Brundage is not bad. Like he's really not bad. He's decent all round. I think his wrestling's not bad. His submission's not bad. He's pretty strong. He hits hard.
Yeah.
But I think Bareknuckle is going to be too much for him. And Bareknuckle, even though for me he still, has a long way to go. This is only still inside 5 fights in the octagon. So far against these types of people, he's done really well. So I don't think this is going to change. And I do think, him being on the main card. So him being ahead of Dricus at the, I forget which UFC it was, just out of nowhere. And now him being on the main card, and everybody talking about him, I think this is definitely the start of a push from the UFC. He's already had a push, but this is just a step further. I wouldn't even be surprised if he gets placed in the top 15 after this fight, like the way that they're pushing him. Yeah. It would be totally undeserved in my opinion, but I think, this one, for me, I think he's gonna knock him out or submit him inside 2 rounds.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I have the exact same feeling. I think that he's just kind of getting fed these guys. And Cody Brundage, I think that the odds kind of make sense. Although I think they're a bit drastic, but like just stylistically, I think Cody Brundage's last loss where he got submitted, I don't know, to me there was just like, I don't think he's going to be able to handle the wrestling from Bareknuckle, but at the same time, I do think Cody has hands. So if I was a betting man, I would definitely go Brundage just because of the return. But yeah, I don't see the hype train being derailed like this Saturday, but I do kind of he's not out of the woods,
Mm. Yep, 100% agreed. I do see Bareknuckle's hype train getting derailed. Definitely when he starts cracking into the top 10. I think anyone in the top 8, even up to 10 could beat him, and should beat him so far. But until that point, you know, he's going to keep climbing the rankings. As I say, I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility of him cracking the top 20, top 15 just because of the push he's getting. So yeah, I think this weekend it continues, and I'm going to go second round submission. I'm going to go submission. I think he's going to put pressure on him. Brundage might even put a little bit of pressure, get Bareknuckle to shoot. He'll have success with the takedowns, and it'll be too much for him. So I'm going to say second round submission.
Okay. I'm kind of getting the feeling of submission. But at the same... Okay, I'm going to go decision to Bareknuckle, split decision. I do still kind of back Brundage here. I think that if he gets enough damage done in the first 2 rounds, I think he can get a lot of points. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I like that. That'll be really, really cool if that happens. Even cooler if he does lose. Just from a shock factor value if Bareknuckle does lose. So yeah, okay. Then we've got one of my favorite fights. I think this is going to be a cracker all round. It is Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan at lightweight. Have you got the odds there for that one, Jack? I know Arman's the favorite.
Yeah, he is. With minus 225 to Charles's plus 185.
Okay. My feelings about Arman Tsarukyan. I've been saying for ages he's going to be the one to dethrone Islam Makhachev. I mean, you just look at the last time that they fought, Arman Tsarukyan had like 2 or 3 weeks notice and took Islam Makhachev to the brink. Yeah. So I think he's levels above most of the lightweights. I'd still like to see him. I think a tough test for him is Gaethje. But I would like to see a rematch between Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev, and I do predict, just like I predicted with Taporia beating Volkanovski ages before the fight even happened, I do predict Arman Tsarukyan will beat not only Oliveira, but he's going to beat Islam Makhachev in a rematch if that fight happens. Yeah,
no, fair. I also see it going that way, but I don't think it's in any way easy. I think Charles, there's always that submission threat, and I just don't see Arman getting into enough or giving away enough to get caught by those. But yeah, what do you say? What's the method of victory?
I'm going to TKO, to be honest with you, because I think he has enough awareness and wherewithal. So, okay, before I get to that, I think he's going to be able to take him down at will if he wants, or drop him, because Charles Oliveira just comes forward. I mean, and that's his style. But Arman Tsarukyan hits hard and accurate, and Arman can take him down if he wants to. Charles is susceptible to being taken down because he's so comfortable in his back. But I think the difference here is, like Islam Makhachev going through his guard, he ended up submitting him. I think it's going to be a TKO for Arman Tsarukyan. It's probably a lot easier now for people to buy into Arman Tsarukyan beating Charles Oliveira because the hype is there. Like, we knew way in advance how good Dricus was and that he could be champion before other people knew, because they just hadn't seen a lot of him. We said it with Ila Topuria, just about him. So that's happened. And I think Arman Tsarukyan, now people are starting to wake up just to how good he is and how good he could be. And I think he's good enough to finish Charles, because Charles is susceptible to being dropped, being hit. I think Charles' meter is also starting to go down. I mean, if you look at the way he spars, and Arman's he's just good all around. Like, he's got no weaknesses. And there is always the chance of Charles submitting him, but that's highly unlikely. So, second round TKO. Bareknuckle, I actually got him for the first round. Sorry, not the second round. I've got him first round.
Okay.
TKO. This is the second round TKO.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I just see Arman doing so much damage in the first round, just when they're dry. And I think Charles is going to be moving forward. I think just the way those two match up, I think Arman's going to be able to clip him a lot. and maybe Charles is just going to roll back, like look for guard, and I'm not sure if Arman will go into guard and take top control. That's just given. I think if he does, he would be smart. But yeah, I'm quite undecided in terms of method of victory, because I think he can do either or. But I'm probably going to go TKO third round. I think he's going to try play it safe, and then just like whenever he meets him on the feet, clip him as much as he can.
Look, I think he's going to try to make a statement with this, because the Gaethje's name is in the conversation for a title shot. Dustin Poirier's name is in the conversation for a title shot.
Yeah.
Look, if Max wins, his name's in the conversation. So I think Arman's going to try to make a statement. I think he's going to take the top position if he needs to, and he's just going to try to demolish Charles. I think he'll be calculated about it at least, though. I think Charles is so durable that he'll last the first round, but the second round I think it might be too much. So yeah, we're in agreement. I think I think Charles, we both think Charles is going to get finished in this one.
Yeah.
Then the next fight we've got, this is also for the BMF belt, but Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway at lightweight. The odds for this one, I know as well, Gaethje is a favorite in this, but I think just a slight favorite, right?
They're kind of, so it's 170 to Gaethje, to plus 142 to Max.
Yeah, okay, so he's a bit more favored.
I don't know how I feel about this. I like so much of these betting odds are actually like quite drastic. I think people are sleeping on Max a little bit. I think that we're overestimating the size difference that there's going to be. I think Max is huge for featherweight, and I think especially for that Dustin Poirier fight, he can put the size on. So I don't know. I'm not sure, because I'm such a huge Justin Gaethje fan, but I'm also such a huge Max fan. And I see just like the output like posing some problems to Justin, but also Justin has lots of weapons to neutralize kind of the output that Max can do. I mean, those leg kicks, they can slow anyone down.
100%. I think this fight, I would have loved to have seen this fight a couple of years back. So when Justin Gaethje was more reckless,
yeah,
I'd have loved to have seen this fight. And before Max Holloway had made the move up to lightweight, lost at lightweight, and then lost to Volkanovski as well, because I think it would have been. I think it's still going to be a crazy fight, but I think the issue here for me is like Justin Gaethje is a completely different fighter. We saw it in the Dustin Poirier fight. He's a lot more measured, like you had said in the preview to that fight. I also think people can say talk about Max Holloway's boxing, and it is of the best in the UFC, but so was Dustin Poirier's, and Justin Gaethje was able to just neutralize that and hit like literally like a truck. And I think Max Holloway has an amazing chin at featherweight. I don't think he'll be able to take the power of Gaethje in this one. He might have the speed advantage over Gaethje, so that way he'll have to be a little bit more elusive, stick and move. But to me, that's not that much his style. His style is to stand and bang with you. So in featherweight, that works because I think power. But power's not an issue. But in this fight, Justin Gaethje is knocking out people who almost have never been knocked out before. So I think even if Max is able to avoid the power, I think, like you mentioned, those leg kicks of Gaethje are just going to be enough to chop him down. And I've also got TK. I've actually got a KO in this one. It's not even a TKO. I think this is going to change Max Holloway forever, unfortunately. There's talk of Max Holloway going to fight Topuria next, even though Topuria said he doesn't want to. But I think this is going to be the type of KO loss that he's going to change Max Holloway, unfortunately, and I think he's going to get badly, badly hurt. I think it was a mistake to take this fight. I'm a huge Max Holloway fan, but I think this was a mistake. The power factor, the size factor, it's going to be. Look, they're the same height, but the power is just a different level with Gaethje, and I think he's going to do some real damage to Max Holloway, knock him out inside 3, probably second round knockout for Gaethje.
Yeah, I do like the way you say that. It does paint like a very realistic picture. I'm also now just thinking about I mean, they're going to stand and bang so much, especially with the BMF title. Yeah, and I mean, just the fact that if it's, you know, blow for blow, then, like, you know, Justin's punches are going to, like, do a lot more than Max's.
Yeah. So you got Justin or you got Max?
With that being said, I have Max.
Man, my heart wants Max by decision. My heart wants Max. My head says Gaethje. So, I think Gaethje. So, okay, you got Max. I got Gaethje. All right. Next up, we've got Zhang Weili versus Xianon. Hope I said that correctly. A bit of a tricky pronunciation. First time ever two fighters from China are contesting a title. I think, is it co-main event or is it? I think it's co-main event.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no odds for this one, right?
No odds.
Okay, that's a bit of an odd one. I think this is a fairly, I don't want to say easy fight to call, but I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think Zhang's going to win this pretty handily. I think she's too complete. I think she's just better all round. Even in her losses to Rose Namajunas said that she never wants to fight someone like that again. And she was in so much pain and everything after those fights. So I don't see a way for Jan to win this. So I'm going to go submission probably in the 4th round for Zhang. And that's probably the easiest one on this card for me to call.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Yan as well, it's been quite a long layoff. I mean, not that long in the world of MMA, but I think last time she fought was May last year. And just Zhang's been, like, just active and, like, peak performance. At the moment she feels like an unstoppable train. And I don't see that, you know, I just don't see the threat that Yan poses to that train either. So I'm not sure if submission threat that is real. I'm gonna go submission. I'm gonna go decision again. I don't know why I keep on saying decisions, but hopefully it's not that boring. But yeah,
that was my second choice. My second choice was a decision. So I can see it going that way, but I think it's gonna go. It's going to go into the deeper rounds, and for sure, and she could probably get it done. But decision, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Yeah. Then we get to the main event. I guess we all. I mean, now I'm looking forward to this. It was a little bit underwhelming when it was announced, but I'm happy now. Actually, I think this is going to be quite a good fight. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill for the light heavyweight championship. What are you saying for this one?
I'm so interested to see how Jamahal comes back from that injury, and if I mean, because, like, so much of Alex's tools is his leg kicks and his kicks, and if that can, like, pose a real threat to Jamahal and slow him down. But it's really interesting. I think just the power of Jamahal, and I'm actually, like, I think people sleep on him quite a bit. He's really good. Like, he's like, really good. So yeah. But yeah, before I give too much away about my pick, yeah, what are you thinking?
It's gonna be interesting to see what his game plan is, because, you know, he beat Alex Pereira's coach Glover Teixeira, but he stood with him for the most part, and I think that's a big mistake if he's going to stand with Alex Pereira. I think Alex Pereira is too fast. I think he's too dynamic. I think he's more accurate. So I think that's going to be a big mistake. If he wants to take it to the ground, it probably will be better. But again, you know, Alex Pereira is really hard to keep down. So that's going to be the big question of this fight. I think the odds for this one, I think Pereira is the favorite, right?
Yeah, minus 135 to plus 114.
Okay, yeah. So it's also gonna, like you said, it's gonna be how well does Jamahal come back from that injury. It's been a long layoff. Ring rust is real, and you don't want to have ring rust and be a slow start against someone like Alex Pereira. So realistically, Pereira's only loss was when he got caught in an exchange with a precision punch from Izzy. other than that, he hasn't really been in that much danger. That's good and bad for him. But I think if they can keep it standing, which I think will most likely happen. Also, actually, before I get to that, having that so for Alex Pereira, having that experience and that insight from his coach, having fought Jamahal Hill before, I think that's invaluable, where Jamahal Hill doesn't have that on Alex Pereira. And I think Pereira is the type of guy, when you get hit by him, it's like, oh shit, type of shots. And it's something that you can't replicate in training. Even the leg kicks you can't replicate. So if this fight stays standing, which I think it might, I think it's going to be a long night for Jamahal Hill. And I think it will be... Look, Pereira's power is even translated to light heavyweight, so I think it will be a TKO. I think Jamahal Hill's tough enough. I think it'll be a TKO for Pereira in round 3, because they will keep it standing, and Jamahal Hill will, his best bet is to take it to ground. He's not going to be able to do that.
Okay, that's all very fair. To me, I see it either as like early first round KO for Alex. I think that when they're dry, and if he clips Jamahal like lights out, and my other option that I think I'm actually going to go for is Jamahal Hill TKO Alex around the 3rd or 4th. Just because I think Alex, he's really good, but he does keep his hands down low. I mean, that then like lends itself so well to uppercuts. But I do, he got clipped with Izzy, and I think if Jamal's smart, he can look for those precision shots,
Fair enough. I think he's too slow, but people rise to the occasion, and it's happened in previous fights, and it could happen in this fight as well. And I'm glad that we're disagreeing, because one of us will be right pending a draw. So So in summary, for this weekend, UFC 300, in the first matchup, Bareknuckle versus Cody Brundage, I've got Bareknuckle via first round submission. In the second matchup, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan, I've got Arman Tsarukyan via second round TKO. In the third matchup, we've got Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. I've got Justin Gaethje via second round knockout. In the co-main event, Zhang Weili versus Xianon. I've got Zhang Weili via fourth round submission. And in the main event, we've got Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. I have got Alex Pereira to win via third round TKO. Jack, your summary?
So for UFC 300, my picks are Cody Brundage, second round TKO. Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. I have Arman, second round KO. And Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Max Holloway decision. Zhang Weili versus Yan Zhedong. I have Zhang Weili as decision. And Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. I have Jamahal Hill at fourth round TKO.
Awesome. So I guess that wraps up this week's show. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Who do you guys think is going to win UFC 300? As always, like the video, please comment, share, subscribe, share it far and wide. And we'll see you again, hopefully next week, for another episode of Jokes and Eye Pokes. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.